Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my out-of-box review for the 1/100 scale Gundam Barbatos 6th form. First off, two things. Number one, gotta say a big thank you to MindFenix Hobby Store, as always, for sending me this kit to share with you guys. Second thing is, I never really came around to liking the HG, to be honest, and even building this kit, I was not really liking the look of it. I thought, okay, the 1/100 scale, I'm gonna like a lot more than the HG. That was the case for the regular Barbatos, so I was assuming it was gonna be the case for this one as well. As I was building it though, I was just thinking, when am I going to start liking this design? I thought it was going to be coming, and then I just never really did. And now suddenly, just now as I'm like setting it up here in my photo tent and getting ready to do this review, it's like, okay, now I'm kind of seeing that I'm kind of liking it now. I don't know why, suddenly it just started to appeal to me. Just the bulk of it, I think just like the bulkiness of the feet and the bulkiness of the top half, it just sort of balanced out. It never really looked all that balanced to me, but now just suddenly it just kind of looks a lot more balanced than it did before. I don't really know why. I don't know, just maybe my current frame of mind in the moment, maybe I'm just more into the design, but here it is. It's got those huge, big high heel feet. It's got those huge, big new shoulders. It's got the bulked up forearms and the cannons on there. And it's got the new chest piece, which I feel is very plain white. I mean, I've got the Tekkaden sticker on there, which is going to be coming off immediately after this review, all the stickers, anyway, because I would like to paint it. Or what I'm actually thinking about is that this kit may actually just be turned into scrap. Still, as I've just finished saying how much I came to like it, I may use parts of this for other things, so I might not actually be painting this as it is, but I do want to at least, you know, change it up. Maybe basically sort of taking parts from this and giving them to other kits to make other kits sort of customized, and then making this sort of customized in some other way as well. I have all the Gushun rebake parts that I'm not going to use because I'm going to be using them for the Gushun. I may be using some of those, but anyway, between my 1/100 scale Gundam kits from the Iron-Blooded Orphans, I might be sort of mixing and matching parts when it comes down to it, when I come down to starting to paint some of this stuff. So overall, like I said, it's a really nice kit. I do like the proportion changes from the HG. The design is just going to be up to you whether you like it or not. Like I said, I just started to really kind of start to like it now. We do have quite a lot of stuff in the box. Aside from just our two main weapons, we do have a lot of extra parts and different things that you can do to make the 5th form as well. You will need a couple of other kits to do that, sort of. I'll talk about that here in a moment when we talk about some of the accessories. But as far as the stickers go on this kit, we've got the Tekkaden sticker there on the front, these blue stickers here on the side of the arm, and then of course the red kind of power symbols there on the front. On the back here, on this part, that's a dark gray sticker there. And that is going to be pretty much it. And I believe that was, yeah, pretty much it for the most part. Oh, stickers there on the front of the thighs too, those black ones. And there's a bunch of stickers on the inner frame. Again, same as the regular original Barbatos. But overall, this does have, of course, less stickers than the HG. So that's good. Let's go ahead and bring him here for a closer look. The head is going to move up about that far, so nice and far actually. That feels like it's probably coming off the polycap there, but just to be safe. The head is going to be exactly the same as the original Barbatos, so nothing's changed there. The shoulder armor, these parts are going to open, this part's going to open like that. We have this, which is, I guess, is supposed to be kind of thruster there. And this shoulder armor, the way that it's attached onto here, it's sort of just slides into place on this part, which is kind of the part we've been seeing. Sort of slides onto there like that, and then you just sort of close this around there. On the chest here is just a new piece. These are two pieces that kind of close over the regular chest. So the original Barbatos chest is inside of there, and then these two parts kind of close down around it. On the arm, the upper bicep, this part is the same, I'm pretty sure. And then here on the lower arm, we just have these new pieces, much more bulkier. On the HG, this was a white sticker. Now it's a white part, so that's nice. Then we have the cannon here on the back of the forearm. We do have open hands, which is nice. In the waist, you're going to have the same kind of nice articulation, not quite as good as the HG, but going side to side, it's going to be cool to see a little bit of that piston movement there on the inside. It's probably a little bit dark, you can't see it too well, but those are going to be moving a little bit, so that's pretty cool. Here are the side skirts, these are also new. We have these things here. These are going to open up at the bottom to be like that, and then you can rotate these around very tight. It seems like you can hear that kind of clicking from that. And this whole part just kind of moves around in different ways, so you can move that how you like. I'm not really too much of a big fan of this. I think it kind of gets in the way of the arms. When you have the arms down, you kind of have to have the arms like out a little bit. So I would kind of prefer the angle of the arms to be more straight down. So in order to do that, I think you'd have to like move these kind of to the back without totally snapping them off. Very tight parts here, as you can tell. You could do something like that, sort of moving them more to the back, and it doesn't look too bad, I think, but then it's kind of missing, it looks like it's definitely missing something here on the side. The legs are going to be pretty much the same. They're just going to rotate there at the top. There's some of the gold stickers on the inner frame inside there. The knee, going to have a nice bend there at the knee, getting a really nice full bend. The ankles, again, are going to be the same. They're going to rotate there side to side, so you're going to be able to keep the feet flat even at a very wide stance. That's good. You can put the toe, the whole part goes down about like that much, and then this front part here is going to move up and down like so. So that's pretty much it, the highlights of the articulation. It's not going to be anything too noteworthy really. For the weapons, we've got the Barbados Mace, something that a lot of people would agree should have been included with the original Barbatos, but at least now we did finally get this, so that is good. Just all molded in the same color here, and it's pretty cool. This top part, just to show you kind of a little bit how it's molded. This main part is two pieces that are going to sandwich together, and then this one part here at the top, kind of the crown, I guess you could say, just slides down over the top of that, like so. So I think the way that they've handled that makes it pretty good. So the seam line is going to be not really, it's going to be pretty hidden like there. And then the one cool feature that this has is that the pile driver comes out. You just press this whole part forward, and that sort of sets it out. And then you can kind of pull it out more if you wanted to. I think you could probably pull it all the way out. No, it is gonna get stuck there, but that's the full extent of that. Of course, if you do want to pull it all the way out, you could do that. If you wanted to have it in a diorama, like have this out and like stuck into another kit, of course you just take off this top part like I just showed you, and then just push that back in, and they'll push this handle part back out like that. And really cool, this does have a small little peg on there for pegging into the hand of the wool suit. This is going directly to my regular 100 scale Barbatos. There's no reason for this guy to have it. So this, yeah, is going away. And then of course we have our Tyrannosaurus head, the wrench mace. So this is pretty cool. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dark gray stickers on here. Overall, I think, again, I've been saying this for a lot of the Iron Blood Orphans weapons. The handle, I believe, should be a little bit longer. It just seems a little bit too short for me. Again, not an easy, not a difficult thing to modify, but just kind of wish they would make them a little bit longer. This opens up by pulling it up like so, and then opening it up like that. And as you can see there, when you open it up, the chainsaw part comes out. So it's not like the HG where you had to either have it in or out. It's a separate piece. This just stays in there all the time. So let me give you another look at that. We'll do that one more time. Here we go, open it up, and you can see there's nothing there. And then when we fold it out, chainsaw pops out. Really cool. Definitely a much better feature, much better than the HG, which unfortunately you had to have that as a separate piece. But yeah, that's that. So let's go ahead and I'll give you guys a look at some of the other parts that this comes with. We get this chest part, which is actually two pieces that are going to sandwich together. Instead of those white parts there, you'd have to take those off, put this one on there to make the Form 5. I will show you guys what the Form 5 looks like in a moment. We have this part, which you will also need to make the Form 5. You plug this onto the back skirt, and then you'll plug the kind of leg binders from the Schwalbe grays onto here in order to make that. We have the regular Barbatos side skirts, which I will probably be putting on this and taking those things off. As I said, I don't really care for those. We have the regular Barbatos shoulder armor, and the stickers, of course, for that. I've just put the stickers on temporarily just as a demonstration for you guys. Probably not going to show you these on the kit at the moment because there's really not any purpose. We have the regular Barbatos feet. Now, this is, I can't say we have this totally because we don't have the polycap. The polycap that is needed to make these, this one inside there, we only have one of those. I just had an extra set, I think from the Schwalbe Greys, I think, or one of those kits, one of the Greys kits, I think, didn't use that polycap, so I did have a couple of extra ones. That's why you keep your extra polycaps and don't throw them away. So I can have these feet and use them if I want without having to take the polycap out of the feet that's already in the kit. So if you didn't have an extra polycap and you wanted to make these feet and have it be able to switch, you'd have to switch the polycap every time. So we do have these feet. Not totally complete though, unless you have a couple extra polycaps laying around. We have, of course, our just regular holding hands. We have these two connection pieces for mounting the weapons onto the backpack. You're just going to plug onto here, and then we can hang our weapon on there like that. It's very strong, very secure. Again, this is the newer one, different from, I believe, what came with the original Barbatos that was a little bit loose. We have two of these kind of extension arms for the backpack unit in two different lengths, a shorter one and a longer one, and these are hinged here and here for if you wanted to use that. But again, on this one, unless you give it the cannon from the other kit, there's not really going to be too much use for these. I guess you could find some use for them, but not a whole lot. Then we have original pieces for just the arm if you wanted to make the regular Form 4 arms. These pieces which you'll use on the backpack if you want to have the backpack opened up and using those kind of extension mechanical arms. And finally, these four little missiles or mortar kind of shells, I believe is what they are, sort of technically. How we're going to switch this is take off this part from the arm, and then these will just plug into here, like so, like that. And that's it. That's if you wanted to switch it to the Form 5, is using these and not the cannon. So if you wanted to have the Form 5 mortar arms, and then this one of them will rotate forward like so, just like the HG. And that's pretty much it for all the weapons and accessories. You can see the faceplate fell off there, so he's looking very dark at the moment. But again, no action-based connector. I really wonder why now this is the second time producing the kit and they threw in a whole bunch of new parts here to make the Form 6. Why didn't they include an action-based connector? It's very strange, but we'll just have to use the different action-based connector that comes with the action base for this. So here's a comparison. I just thought I'd compare. I wanted to compare it to the HG and then to the 1/100 scale original Barbatos here as well, so I figured I'd just do it all in once. Here you can see between the two 1/100 scales, you can see the 6th form is quite a bit noticeably taller than the Form 4, and then of course the HG there is just going to be definitely not as impressive. I mean, as far as HGs go, yeah, I think it's definitely still got a little bit of a wow factor just with everything that it is. But just compared to the 1/100 scale, the 1/100 scale is going to be probably the most eye-catching form of the Barbatos available, I'd say. I will admit, it does actually really look pretty good with the collection of them here together. I do also have the HG regular Barbatos, of course, as well. Didn't include that here, and I guess you could also include the long-range booster as well if you wanted to have a Super Barbatos collection. And I'm sure this is not the last we're going to be seeing of it, as we've seen in the one promo image for Season 2 at the end of Season 1. It showed a future form of the Barbatos. We can assume if that's not a different Gundam, we can assume that's probably the Barbatos just in a new form again. So I'm sure we're going to be adding to the Barbatos collection in the fall. So here he is in Form 5, and yeah, I kind of messed up when I said you weren't going to be seeing those shoulder armor. I did definitely have to use those in order to make this. And yeah, again, according to the manual, you will need, of course, the Schwalbe Greys, the 1/100 scale Schwalbe Greys, obviously for the binders there. And according to the manual, you will also need the regular 1/100 scale Barbatos to make the feet. You'll have to borrow, the manual says to borrow the feet from that kit. But as I showed you, if you just happen to have a few extra polycaps lying around from another 1/100 scale kit, or I mean, maybe if you could make it work from another kit as well, but that polycap is a little bit unique, I think. So the shape and size and shape might not match perfectly, but you could always, do a little bit of modification. Here this is. It's looking pretty cool. Not really too big of a fan of the mortars there on the arms. I prefer the just kind of regular cannons. I gotta say the lance though with the pile driver there at the end is gonna be looking pretty cool. Not lance I should say, the mace. But yeah, there's the Form 5. Now to be honest, this is really one of those kits where I feel like, you know, at this point in the review I normally point out things that I think could be improved or things that I think should have been included with this kit that weren't included, and to be honest there's not really anything that I think really could have been improved with this kit. I mean, everything does what it's supposed to. It comes with pretty much everything that you would want. I wish that they had more expressive open hands, but that's been a general complaint with all of these kits so far, so that's one small thing. But in terms of the different option parts, we have pretty much everything you could want. Things that could be improved about this kit as is, not really a whole lot, really, to be honest. Pretty much everything does exactly what it's supposed to do, and it works pretty well. The articulation is going to be pretty nice. The weight issues with holding the mace, not too bad. Of course, there is going to be a little bit of some weight issues. You are definitely going to have to use 2 hands to hold that giant wrench mace, which you will see in the next pose, but that's going to be expected. The thing's huge. So that is pretty much going to do it for this review. Here's what y'all wanted to see, right? You wanted to see this big T-Rex head hammer wrench mace thing in action, right? To be honest, it's not really my favorite weapon. It's definitely interesting, I'll give it that. It's definitely something that we're probably never going to see ever again, anything quite like this, so I'll give it props for that. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, it's alright, and it's not that difficult to pose up, I guess. Again, I do think that it would be nice if the handle was slightly longer, but very small complaint. Otherwise, it's pretty much going to be it, guys. If you do have any other questions or comments, do leave those down below. I did find the side skirts, as I mentioned before, I don't really like them too much anyway, those kind of booster pod things on the side skirts. Another reason why I don't like them is they just kind of get in the way a little bit too, so when you're trying to move stuff around. The shoulder armor is really not too bad because it opens up and does everything like that, so that doesn't really get in the way too much, but the side skirts do kind of get in the way, so probably be changing those out back to just the regular Barbatos ones. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope this was helpful or informative in some way, at least entertaining. Probably not that much, but you know, anyway, thanks for watching anyway, so catch you guys next time. Bye bye.